In this lesson, we're going to learn how to generate random numbers and then populate an array list with a set of random numbers. The first thing we have to do is import the random number class into our program. So that's Java util random. And let's go ahead and get the array list class. First thing to do when generating random numbers is to create a random number object. We do that by declaring a random number object with the random class, followed by calling the constructor along with a special command, system.currentTimeMillis. Let me explain what that's doing. When you generate random numbers, they are not truly random. And to make them as random as possible, you have to perform a task called seeding the random number generator. And the way you do that is you provide it with a number. And that number needs to be sufficiently large so that the random number generator will generate a set of random numbers within that range. So a good number to use, and there's lots of different numbers, but one you can use without possibly biasing the random number generator is the current time in milliseconds. So to do that, you call system.currentTimeMillis, and that will return the system time in milliseconds. And that always provides a good random number generator seed. After that, you're ready to generate a random number, so we'll create a number variable, and then to put a random number in that variable, we call a method nextInt, which we've seen before with scanner class. But this time we wanted to generate a random number within a range. To specify a range, you put a number as the argument to nextInt that is in the range of n-1 of the numbers that you want. So for example, if I want random numbers from 0 to 100, I'll put 101, and we'll just go with that. And then we'll print out the random number to see what we get. So let's save the program, then compile it, then run it, and the random number was 3. If we run it again, we'll get a different number. Every time we run, we should get a different random number. So that's how you generate random numbers. It's really not that difficult, just need to know a couple of steps. Import the random number class, create a random object, and seed it somehow. System.currentTimeMillis is a good way to do that. Then call the appropriate method to generate your next random number. We'll use nextInt. And then that argument will be the range of the numbers you want to generate, -1 or +1. Let's look at another example, this time using an array list to create a set of random numbers. We'll leave our random object in our variable. Then we'll create a new array list, like so. Then we'll write a loop. Int I equals 0, I less than 10, we'll do 10 numbers, plus I, number equals rand next int 101, and then we'll put that number in our array list, numbers.add number, close the loop, and then we'll display the numbers, which means we need our display method from the last lesson. So let's rewrite it real quick. Static void display array list arr, or int I equals 0, I less than array.size plus I, system out.print arr.get sub I plus a space. And that should do it. So let's save the file, bring up our DOS window, compile, and run. And there's our set of random numbers between 0 and 100 stored in the array list. The reason I'm introducing generating random numbers is so that when you're writing methods and any kind of code that uses particularly numeric data in an array list or some other data structure, it's a lot easier to use random number generation to create a test data set rather than having to try to enter those numbers yourself. And so learning how to generate random numbers will just save you some time, and it's a useful technique. You can use it in game programming and in other types of situations, statistics, but just to create a simple data set of numbers, the easiest way to do that is by generating random numbers, and that's what you've learned to do in this lesson.